host of New Abolitionist Radio, which has been running on the Black Talk Radio Network now for the past 5 years. All I do most of my time is spent just researching one particular topic, and that topic is modern day slavery. A lot of people consider me one of the foremost experts on it. I am not pretending to be something that I'm not. I'm no huge historian. I can't quote you times and dates of the Civil War episodes and stuff like that, but I know everything we need to know about modern day slavery. I need to know everything that I need to know about things that are happening right now to us today. And I've studied it every day. Every week we give a report on New Abolitionist Radio on recent events, not just past events, but recent events. And I've also studied the abolitionists throughout history. Every week we profile a different abolitionist. And the reason that we do that is so we can understand better what it is they were fighting, because we're fighting the same fight. What losses they took, what wins they had, and how they managed to be as successful as they were. They did not complete the job. If they completed the job, I wouldn't be here right now talking to you. Right. But they got closer than anybody else we've ever heard of in history. And at that time, it was the one thing that unified everybody. Everybody, across all races and creeds. We were really in a position where the entire nation was divided into two segments. You were either pro-slavery or you were anti-slavery. There was no room for in-between at that time. In-between meant you were pro-slavery. And that's the same thing that we see ourselves involved with today. I want to talk to you today about several things, one being the power of words, and the other thing is I want to show you some video clips of news reports, recent news reports, that you may not be aware of, that for whatever reason that is, mainstream media doesn't play a lot of things that you should be aware of. But I'm going to share them with you today. They're short clips, and then we'll have conversations and questions. Normally when I start these things, I always ask this question first. How many people in this room right now are already slavery abolitionists? You guys are awesome. You guys are awesome. You need some convincing, right? I'm working on it. I'm working on it. I always ask that when I start out because I ask again when I'm done to see if I've had an impact on your consciousness and maybe more aware of what's going on. Regarding being a slavery abolitionist, you don't need like a card or a membership. There's no club you got to join. I'm sure Harriet Tubman didn't walk around with a card going, hey, I'm a slavery abolitionist, okay? It really is a matter of perspective. When you come to the realization that what we're dealing with is not a mistake, it's not something that occurred over time through bad decisions and misjudgment, it's not something that people who are in positions of power did not realize they were doing. For instance, the 1994 crime bill with the Clintons, if you remember, Hillary Clinton said this was a well thought out crime bill. She had some of the greatest minds in the whole country come together to put this thing together. They saw into the future. They knew how this was going to end up. They knew who they were targeting. And one of the things you may not know is that they were also at that very time involved with the initial public offering of a private prison company by the name of Wackenhut Corrections Corporation. Wackenhut Corrections Corporations came into being on their initial public offering at exactly the same time as the Clinton crime bill came into being. Within 4 short years, that prison company stock had multiplied 10 times. 75% of their contracts came from the Clinton administration. So the reason that their money was just exploding is because the president was passing it to them. It's really just that simple. Since then, it has become a global monstrosity. Slavery has come to the entire world again. The GEO Group, which I mentioned earlier as Wackenhut Corrections Corporation, they became the GEO Group, is the second largest privately owned prison company in the entire world. Just one of their subsidiaries, by the name of G4S, out in Europe, is the largest private employer on the entire continent of Africa. A prison company is the largest private employer on the entire continent of Africa. Also, G4S is the third largest privately owned corporation in the entire world. Now this has only come into being since 1994, and they have become this huge. It's been estimated that the prison industry is worth at least $1 trillion. And that's because for every dollar that the government spends towards incarceration, the families spend as much as $10 themselves. They're being extorted and exploited. We all know it. I mean, how many people have had to pay to visit someone through a video conference at $15 for 10 minutes? You know, just a simple example. I'm a father of an incarcerated son, 2 of them as a matter of fact, and I just got news yesterday that after 16 years he'll be getting out in May. So that was good news for me.
Yeah.
But they tried to exploit me the same way with the video conferencing. How are you going to kidnap my child and then sell his organs back to me? I mean, what is that? And we also know that a lot of these people are going into prisons for unjust reasons. Just last month, a study came out from the government itself, which was saying that 575,000 arrests as of 2015 were for simple possession. Simple possession. 575,000 people going into these jails and prisons for something as small as a $10 bag of weed. In the state where I live in, South Carolina, presently, marijuana is illegal. But in Colorado, it's legal. So right now in Colorado, they are building what's called, literally, the weed mall. But if I smoke a joint in South Carolina, I can spend up to 5 years in prison. So it's really very hypocritical. Now, I want to show you how modern day slavery works and how human trafficking works in the United States of America today. Anyone here has already seen the 13th, the movie 13th documentary? 1, 2, 3, 4. Great. For those that have not seen it, we are trying to put together a viewing tonight. I highly suggest you watch it. It makes a direct connection between the 13th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution and what we see today through our private prison industry. For those that don't know about the 13th Amendment, I'm just going to paraphrase. It basically says slavery shall be abolished in the United States of America and all its territories except for prisoners duly convicted. Now that's been in position in our Constitution since the 1860s. When it went into position, when it was put into our Constitution, immediately they went into what is called convict leasing and black codes. I'm sure we're all familiar with the black codes. Black codes made everything about being black illegal. You could not do what I'm doing right now, talking to people in the room who would put me in prison. Blacks couldn't gather together. They couldn't walk around without money in their pocket. They couldn't look a white woman in the eyes. That was a criminal that they would be prosecuted for criminally and sent to prison. Throughout the South, these prison leasing campaigns went on until 1928. That's 63 years after the Emancipation Proclamation. What they would do is they would lease these same blacks who had been formerly enslaved right back out to the plantations who formerly owned them. So what it was not an end to slavery, but a transfer of ownership. The individual could no longer own slaves, but the state could. And that is why it's called state property. And that went on, as I said, until 1928. The next stage that came after that, of course, was chain gangs. We're familiar with chain gangs who built our roadways across America. They also were prisoners working for nothing. And today, the most recent manifestation of that system is called Unicor. Unicor is a it's $1 billion a year industry, and their only product is prison services and labor. That's the only thing they provide. And it's $1 billion a year industry. As we speak at this moment right now, we are in the 5th week of a national prison labor strike. We are calling it, and it is rightfully so, the largest slavery rebellion in the history of the United States. There are over 24 states involved with as many as 45,000 prisoners who are refusing to work. When I say refusing to work, I mean in California alone, there are over 30 factories built into the prisons. In California, again, there are over 4,000 prisoners who fight forest fires for $2 a day. In South Carolina, where I just came from, the prisoners were making Victoria's Secret underwear for the women. They provide goods and services. Estimates say it's as many as 1 million people right now employed within the prisons and jail system. I like to use the enemy's own words to expose them So that's what I want to start out with first of all, is to show you how it's been made commonplace, accepted, and legal in the United States. We're going to start out with this video from Fox Business News, where they explain how to make money on the prison industry.
Costs for correctional facilities, or in other words, prisons, quadrupling in the past 20 years to $52 billion in the U.S. With taxpayers on the hook for much of that, is there a way you can actually make crime pay? Our next guest says, you bet. Reva Shakatai, Senior Vice President at RBC Wealth Management, and she joins us now. Thanks for being with us, Reva.
Thank you, Dennis.
So let's just go broad picture first. The U.S. is the most prison-prone country in the world, right? Tell us about that.
We have 2.3 million inmates in the state prison system, in the federal prison system, and in local jails. There is a difference between prison and jail.
Yes, it's a 1 year, but does not account for Louisiana, 1 in 86 people.
1 in 86, absolutely. If you look at the country as a whole, it's 1 in 104. But if you look at both parolees and probation, in addition, it's 1 in 33 people who are in the state or federal prison system.
Right, in California, it has 7 times as many prisoners as Iran, the entire country does.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so there's really demand here. Now, most times when people think about trying to make money on prisons, they look at the publicly held prison, for-profit prison companies like CXW and GEO. But you think those guys might be kind of played out. Why is that?
Well, the growth of those types of companies really happened post 9/11 when the U.S. Marshal Service and ICE, which is Immigration Custom Enforcement, got the contracts to detain immigrants. So 50% of all immigrant detainees are in private prisons. They adopted the approach, if you build it, they will come. But there's a mismatch with the need. They have excess capacity, but it doesn't exactly fill the need of the public prison system.
Okay, they aren't where they need to be. So if we get rid of CXW and GEO, instead, you like a couple of actual California state prison bonds. Tell us about those.
California operates just about the biggest prison system in the country. You have an occupancy rate of these prisons of 155%. The demand definitely outstrips the supply. So there's a segment of the fixed income market called lease revenue bonds. And this is a play on the municipal bond market. It's a more conservative approach to playing the prison market. A lease revenue bond that plays the prisons compared to a general obligation bond at the same maturity can yield 10 to 50% more.
A prison bond more than a regular government bond from a local government.
From a state government, right. So from a California GEO perspective. I'm not talking about jail bonds. Those are highly speculative, and that's where you hear about the defaults in the prison market.
I see. Now, in addition to California, are all state bonds kind of safe to look at for prison purposes? Do all state bonds pay higher than their regular general obligation bonds?
There's a couple of states that you can really look to, like California, Texas, Florida, New York, and Michigan. These are the biggest issuers of the lease revenue bonds that fund correctional facilities. So for an income-hungry investor that's looking for relative value, I think there's a huge opportunity in these bonds that are absolutely underfollowed by the market.
And they're tax-free as well, right?
Tax-free income, absolutely.
And then Parthas plays into your theme, your clients call you the grave dancer because you like to put money into things where the customer has a little choice. You feel like cigarettes, people are addicted, gambling, even have some addicts, and certainly in prison, the customers have no choice but to be customers, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's no other place to go. I think that the country will stop at nothing to protect public safety. So I think that the prison market's a great place to be.
So why not profit from? All right, thank you very much for being with us, Reva Shakatai. Appreciate it. Have a good.
So, in their own words, as I said, in their own words, this is how they're making money on human capital.